Hi guys, welcome to the recap for Friday the 27th of July 2018. First of all, apologies, I haven't been doing these regularly like I said I would. There's a good reason for that. It's because I've taken some really heavy losses in the last couple of weeks, last 3 weeks, and I've kind of got into a bit of a rut where I wasn't really sure whether I want to continue. I've gone back to sim as of this week, and I'm now working my way back. So the things I'm doing to improve my trading is I am reading, and I've got it on my desk, Trading in the Zone, which I think is going to help from a psychology point of view, or at least outline some of the more kind of common approaches that we know while we're all out there, but maybe I just need a bit of a refresher. I've also got Andrew's new book, which I'm going to be reading. And apart from that, really, I was thinking of getting Trading Sim, which is like you can trade previous days of the market as if it were live. So you could look for setups and you can try different scenarios. So I was thinking of doing that, basically to get me more exposure to the market. So I'm looking at various things. I'm also journaling a lot of what I'm doing, and I'm trying to find out exactly where I've gone wrong. And guess what? I found out exactly what I'm doing wrong. So today was a pretty good day. $648. I had 2 small losses and 3 decent wins. Now, in terms of tickets, I had 47 tickets, which is more than I normally have. But I guess because of how I'm scaling out, this is probably going to have to continue if this is how I've adapted my trading to make it work, if that makes sense. So we traded 4 stocks today. Let me just go through them. Actually, let's start with the first one. All right, INTC. So with INTC, what we did was, let me just anchor this. And let me show you the screenshot. Actually, I don't know if okay, I'll just pull this up. So INTC, and let me get my magic pen as well. The first trade I took, I went long, and I got out of it, and I made a loss, I think about $50, $60. Now, the rest of the trades on this, actually there were 2 trades, were really, really good. The first trade was, so the second trade was a short, so I got in here right at the VWAP, right? So the things I was doing wrong, the first thing I was doing wrong was that my entries were pretty bad, right? I was basically getting in late into a lot of stocks and I was chasing, right? So that was the first thing I was doing. And the second thing was that my timing was off. Now, you know, I guess we can all improve these things. Sorry about my writing here. But I've kind of, I think, cracked what I was doing wrong. So to fix the entries, what I did was, and that's supposed to be a tick, I have switched to the 15-minute candles, right? So my setup is this. I've got the 5-minute candle here, behind the big one here I've enlarged, and I've got the 15. And I'm trading on the 15 and the 5. So I'm really looking for a longer period to hold it. And what that does is, it allows me to catch bigger portions of moves, which is really important. Because before I was just almost, I wouldn't say scalping, because it's not really what I was doing, but it was akin to scalping, and I wasn't really happy with it. So give an example, great entry. I mean, VWAP is where I would have got out, that's my stop. I mean, that is a fantastic entry. Excuse me, and I covered half here, and I scaled out rest, and the final bit was at break even. Actually, no, and I left a bit of a slither there. That was a really good trade. And the second trade, once again, I went long, I added to my position here, and I scaled out as well. So I've noticed that what I do a lot is I either go half a position in, and so for the first 5 minutes, if I trade on the 15-minute candle together with the 5-minute candle, if I trade the first 5 minutes, I'll take half a position size. Okay? So that's one new rule. And that means that if I get stuck or stopped out like I did in this case going long, it's not going to break the bank, right? That's the first thing. And second of all, it allows me, like I said, to take bigger chunks of moves, right? Before, I would most likely have gotten stopped out. And I'll show you what I mean, right? If we go to the 1 minute candle, all right, like most of us use, all right, let me just go back to here. So let's say, was it 9:30 at 48.60. 9:30. Actually, so you can see my entries there, right? Actually, let me just blow this up a little bit more. Right, so this is a 1 minute candle, okay? So this is a little bit after I had gone long. So let me just make it a little bit smaller. All right, hope you can see that, right? Let's make it a bit bigger. All right, so this is where I went long on the 1 minute, right? And this is where I got stopped out. This is where I went short again. And basically, you see all of these fluctuations, right? I don't think I would hold through this if I had been looking at this on the 1 minute chart. Simply because, and let me move across, simply because it's too choppy, right? It's too, for me, anyway, personally for me, it's too choppy. But having the ability and having it smoothed out on the 5 minute chart, or the 15 as I said, makes it a lot easier for me personally because it's a little bit slower. And I found out that just having it that little bit slower pace means I can actually control my risk, which is what it's all about. So that was INTC. Let's look at the second one, Twitter. What have I done here? All right, so Twitter, let's make this a bit bigger. Twitter, let's bring this back. So what do we do on Twitter? All right, so this was the big winner of the day, $445. So once again, 15-minute chart, excuse me. So I'm getting a slower paced vision of what the market's doing. I'm not seeing all this choppiness, right? Which usually stops me out. So once again, my entry and my exit would have been at the VWAP. So this is once again a pretty good entry. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Personally, I think this is a very good entry because if I get stopped out and I got in at 36.50 right there, my stop at the VWAP would have been what, 36.60 maybe. So I'm prepared to lose 8 cents, right? That's, Jesus, that's really bad. That's supposed to be an 8. I'm prepared to lose 8 cents, and in terms of my target, I was looking at, first of all, I was looking at 35.50, the $half mark. Then I was looking at 35, right, which it got to. So 35, so I got in at 36.50. So I'm looking to make $1.50, and I'm risking 8 cents. Now, let me just calculate that. That is, so $1.50 divided by 8 cents. That is a risk reward of 18.75. Let's call it 18, right? 18 to 1. Now, normally we talk about having a risk reward of 2 to 1, 3 to 1. You know, these are good trades. This was a fantastic risk reward, right? So this is why I was able to make, $450 on this, because the risk was minimized through an excellent entry. Size was controlled as well. It wasn't crazy. And once again, I scaled out, like you can see here. Now, the other thing I did was I took another trade. The second trade was when I saw it. So I got out here for the last bit, and so let me just change it to a pen. And I could see that it wasn't really strong enough to make a new high, right? Because it wasn't even getting above the VWAP. So what we did was we went short again. Now, once again, a pretty good entry, right? I think this was at 35, let's call it 35.60. The VWAP is sitting at 36. So let's call it 40 cents, right? So I'm risking 40 cents. And I'm looking to make, we said that the 35 mark. So I got in at what, 35.50. So you're looking to make about 50 cents. Okay. So this risk reward is a lot less. So it's just over 1. So let's call it 1.2 or something, right? So it's almost 1 to 1. This is not a very good risk reward. But if you look at my size that I took, and it's going to be down here somewhere. It's not this one here. This is way too big. You would have seen that it was a lot smaller size. It was probably 200 shares or 250 shares, because it was just too risky to take bigger size on it because it's too far away from. Right. So that was Twitter, and then we moved on to. So we've done INTC. We have, haven't we? Yeah. Twitter. Then FSLR was one of the losers. This I got kind of I got swayed by the chat room. So on the 15-minute chart, this is the first candle, right, that it's making. I decided to go long. Did I? No, I went short. I decided to go short because I saw this massive red candle, and it promptly started reversing, and I got out. Now, awful setup. Awful setup. Look how far away this is from your stop. So if you call your stop at the VWAP, right, call it $49.10. That's your stop. You're getting in at $48. I mean, that stop is $1.10 away. That is huge, right? I mean, because you can't look at any other candle wicks, because there is no other candle wick. The other stop you're looking at is way up here. In other words, terrible risk reward. So I got promptly out of that, and that was this loss of $110. And the last stock that we traded today was JUMC. Now this was another excellent trade. Now, risk reward wise, okay, VWAP, let's call it 38. I got in at 37.75, so I'm risking 25 cents, and my target was this moving average, this 50-day EMA, which is at 36.50. And I got in at what? At 37.75, 36.50. So $1.25. So your risk reward is 5 to 1. That is a great risk reward. You know, this is the kind of trade you should be looking for every single day, because first of all, the risk on it is not that big. You're managing your risk extremely well, because if you lose 25 cents and you put in, you know, 200, 300, 400 shares, 500 shares, if you were in with 500 shares on this and you lost 25 cents, you're losing like $120 or something, right? It's not the end of the world. You can cope with it. Well, it depends on your risk tolerance, right? But the point is, excellent entry, right? So the two things I've been working on a lot, entries and the 15-minute chart. And I've noticed that it's helping a lot. So once again, I got in here and I scaled out. And that's it, guys. That was my day for today. So hopefully I'll be back on Monday and I will chat to you then. Any questions, feel free to email me, bart@daytradearcade.com, or leave any comments below. Thanks guys, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Cheers, bye.